one because I was on earlier today during the golden hour as the sun was setting, and I was speaking, and someone came into the live and said something about their girlfriend breaking up with them or something. And I said, that's how the game goes. Sometimes the relationship ends, sometimes it doesn't work out. And welcome that, welcome that, welcome that, welcome that. And in my earlier live, I jokingly said, that's how it happens sometimes. Sometimes the relationship doesn't work out. Sometimes the person may cheat on you. Sometimes you may just grow out of the relationship. And this isn't after years, this could be after weeks, and that's okay. There is this sense that if you are in this relationship, you just have to make it work. You don't. You don't. Especially, good evening, Mag. Especially, I share this with my nieces. If you're like 21, 22, really anytime in your 20s, but you don't have to fight for love. You don't. You can say, you know what, this is okay. I learned from this, and yeah, I'm going to break up and go on with my life. You don't have to get to a space where you have to fight for this relationship. You don't. Really, at any time, but especially a young person. I'm speaking in your 20s, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You don't have to fight for it. You don't. It is okay. You will go on with life. Your life will continue and you will grow from it. And sometimes there's a space of thinking that you won't, thinking that this is it for me. There's no one else. There is. It is not. And it is in your best interest to know that life is long. It is. My dad would say, there are, my hopefuls are flooding into the building. I must hydrate. Hello, Maureen. There, my father would say forever is a long time. It is. Most, you can't even calculate the length of time that forever is. And sometimes it's just not forever time. It may just be for you to understand that you attract certain people or your type isn't actually good for you. Who knows? But you don't have to just fight for it. And typically, fighting for anything means that it's a struggle or a battle, and it doesn't have to be that at all. Or at least in my case, and I'm okay with saying this is no longer for me. What is next? But the person that came into the live and said that was wrong, why did she do this? I don't know, but sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes you are on the receiving end, and that's just part of it. That's part of the game. That's how the game goes, okay? I did not make the rules. I just observe and speak what I see. That is it, okay? That is it. And, oh, you see? I was up late on live last night, which I won't be on so late tonight, but I like coming on later. It's a different set of people, but my same still hopefuls are around. And when I entitled this, you fight for yourself, don't fight for love. It means really fight for your growth, fight for your space in life, fight for your ability to learn, fight for your ability to expand, fight for your ability to redesign yourself, to think differently, to show up differently, to be in different spaces. You don't have to always fight for love. You don't. And I love love. I do. I love love. I often hear this relentless ability to keep something that may no longer be serving you. And when if it's no longer serving you, it's in your best interest to just let it go with peace and love. Let it go. Let it go and show up differently. Because when you can easily let go of something, new things can come into your life. Here's why. A lot of people have a difficulty to release something. And I started something years ago with the ability to let go of things I love, let go of pieces of clothing. Like, I can let it go. There's nothing that I hold on so tightly that I'm fearful that I won't have it again. Because thank you, Cal. What island? What island, Cal? But you have to practice it. Me too. I like my nose too. I had no part in it, but I like my nose too. You have to practice the law, maybe the law of detachment, but just letting things go and being okay with it. Being okay with it. I remember I had this cool, it was from, oh geez, I forgot this company, but they put out small patches of clothing on Matches.com. And it was the cashmere sweatshirt with kangaroo pockets. And it was so soft. It was amazing. And I gave it to a friend because I loved it so much. It was my own challenge to myself to let go of something that I loved so much. And that has found me in the same way with places that I've worked or places that I lived. Yeah, and sometimes you outgrow things. There's been things and people that I've outgrown. But when you want to desperately hold on, like, no, I've known this person for 20 years, I've done this for so long, it's like, that's okay. You can still have that story in your mind and let it go. That feeling of I won't be the same. You're already not the same. You're always changing. And what we think is the same, we're always changing. Thank you, Sister Dharma, getting for the roses. And that ability to change and that belief in change and that sureness in I am changing and I am okay and I am ready. And some things no longer serve me and some people no longer will be in my space. And thank you, beautifully done, girl. I appreciate that compliment, girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I get that from like letting go of people. And I joke about this. I will break up with you in a minute. Okay. And I've had lovely gentlemen in my life as well as friendships. And I know when I've outgrown it. I also know why can't I? Because I can't. There's been no grand gesture. So that's a great way of starting a conversation. But you haven't even asked me if I want to be a wife. There's that part. If I don't want to be a wife, there's no way that I would be your wife. But you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. So you can pay, you wouldn't have enough, you don't have a trust large enough. That's the thing. I also know my personal price. You don't even have a trust. So it isn't large enough. And even if you did, it wouldn't be large enough. Life isn't difficult for me, just saying. It's not. life isn't difficult because I can handle everything. It's a bit of a open dialogue, beautifully done, girl, because it's Sunday. I entitled this live "Fight for Yourself, Not Love" because, well, it's not that it's difficult, but it may be time to change your perspective. There are difficulties in life that are teaching us a lesson while we're learning it. The difficult part is while we're learning the lesson, while we're learning it. After we've learned it and it's integrated and we can implement it, we can look back like, oh, that makes sense. That's why. But when you're in it, it's really uncomfortable. That's just a perspective, and see how that feels for you. What is my best strong suit? Everything. I do everything well. There's nothing that I don't believe that I can or cannot do. And that's why I have this confidence. I don't have embarrassment. Like, I know if I want something, there will be that discomfort of not knowing how to do it. That's okay. I like learning. I know there will be a area where I have to acclimate. I don't see anything as having to be overcome. It's just a matter of time, of diligent effort. So I label it differently. I don't look at something and say, this is hard, this is going to be difficult. I wouldn't say that because that's like programming myself for hardship. What I would say is, I'm excited to get started and I have everything it takes to complete. That's a completely different sentence than, this is hard, this is difficult, how can I do this? No, I'm excited. I said yes. I'm excited. I'm starting. I have everything within me, and I will do it in my own time. That's it. I don't make it harder than it needs to be. And in the belief that I can accomplish anything, nothing is difficult. It just takes time. Thank you, Reds, for the follow. So I would challenge you to rearrange the sentences you tell yourself. Instead of labeling something as hard and difficult and unable to achieve, I can do this, and I congratulate myself at saying yes. I can do this and I will do it in my own timing. I can do this, and it feels really good that I'm learning in every day or every moment instead of the opposite. Because the opposite is, I don't know how to do this. I'm doing this wrong. People are judging me. I want to quit. No, no, no. Yeah, exactly. And I also believe that if there is something bigger, that it is within us. So if I am that creator, then there's nothing I can't do because it's within me. I'm a part of it. That is an empowering statement. I choose to speak empowering words to me because the opposite doesn't bring anything that's beneficial. If I constantly tell myself, I can't do this because of where I was born, I can't do this because of my gender, I can't do this because of my hair, I can't do this because I don't have training, I can't do this because I've never seen anyone who looks like me do it, that won't encourage me in any way. So I change it to say, of course I can do it and I have what it takes. That's it. Well, you're something. And if you, well, maybe it's time for you to sit in that until it becomes something else. I don't know. That may be teaching you something. Thank you, what was said, for the follow. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, here's the thing. I say I'm very intelligent, I'm smart, I know that. I've always tested high, and I knew because I was given just decision making skills. Forget school, I know how to make decisions, and I trust my decisions, and I like to learn. I can do anything. I can do anything. That's great. Going back to school, that's great. And what is put a picture up, then you will be somebody? Okay. And There we go. And the challenge is believing that you can do it before you've done it. And, and, and reminding yourself of what you've already done. What got you to this moment are several challenges that you've overcome. Well, that is understandable. However, to heal yourself is empowering. So, in that regard, the fact that you want to empower yourself may ease that sense of embarrassment. Yeah, and intuition and knowledge of self worth takes time with yourself. I've had a lot of time with myself. I come from a large family. I enjoy my time with myself. During my time as a flight attendant, most of my time, yes, feeling. I love that. It's about a feeling. See, we talked about this last night with the bad kisser because I was talking about a date where I love the outdoors. I love waterfalls. Like that is the secret to my heart, or a waterfall hike. And there's many in Hawaii, all over the nation, actually, and all over the world. And I went on this hike in the coastal range in Santa Barbara on a date. And then afterwards, we kissed, and it was terrible. It was a terrible kiss. And I had said, I knew that it wasn't it. Now, I can check in and say, yeah, that is honesty for me. If the kiss is bad, it's a wash, it's a wrap. Wrap it up. It is done. It is done. It is done. It's like unsalvageable. And often people will try to salvage something that may not be in their best interest. If the kiss is bad, it's just done. That's it. Bad kiss can't be salvaged, it's done. And that is okay. Exactly. You have to know yourself. But a bad kiss will just ruin a date or after the date. It was great. It was great in Santa Barbara and the coastal range, but just from that. Now, because I know that it's easy. Oh, bad kiss, great time, great day, great person. And I'm confident in saying that this won't progress to a long term relationship. Perfect. That makes it easy for me. It's not trying to sort this out like, well, maybe if it changes. No, no. You see what you got. Take that as the best outcome. Don't try to change it. Accept it. Know what you want and make a decision. That was easy for me to say. Bad kiss, sloppy, wet kiss will not progress because I have a general outline, a general baseline, and that was not going to be a part of it. Not a bad kiss. Great person, but I was quite realistic with that. Thank you for the likes. Of course you will. You can meet anyone during any course of your life. What is this limit with age? Do you stop fulfilling, living your life after 18? The point is to increase in age. There's a part of Western society, but specifically the US, because I lived abroad for several years. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Veronica. I appreciate that. That's a very kind compliment. Where aging is seen as some sort of weakness. It isn't. You gain insight in life. You can actually share something with people. You just change within yourself. And it's within all ages, every age. However, to age is a privilege. And as someone, I've shared that my father passed away like maybe a week and a half ago at 76. That is the magic, to create such a life and live that long. It will take ages. It will take time. It may take decades. And I think age is beautiful. I like that with my age, I know something. I don't know everything. I know a little bit of something, and I'm always learning more. Yeah, I don't know about that twin flame or soul tie. I don't know about that because you could be my twin flame. I'll leave you in the dust. Like, I'm not about any of that. I'm not about self depreciating behavior. I'm not about, bringing myself to the depths of depression because this person is my love from a previous life. Absolutely not. I will leave you in a second. You're gone. This ain't working. If I will say this ain't working because the kiss is bad, you think I'm going to stick around because you're my twin flame? No, you could be, but I will let that universe deal with that. I'm out of here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love my curls too. This is why I entitled this live Fight for You, Not for Love, because a lot of times young women are, yeah, I don't really say the airline, but it was one of the big three of the American carriers. Sometimes women have been told just to self sacrifice ourselves for a partner. Just prepare yourself for when that person. Just prepare yourself for that person. Just prepare yourself for that time and when you're a wife. Maybe it takes that preparation of life to become that person. Or maybe during the course of life, you determine that's not the choice you want to make. Or maybe you say, I do want to play that role, but in my own way. It doesn't have to be the way that I was told that it has to be. And for me, this looked like my parents' relationship was pretty gender traditional. Like, the woman doesn't take out the trash, and the woman cooks and cleans. I myself am pretty open with that. I mean, I prefer not to take out the trash. I prefer someone else to, but I will. And I had to learn that the gender roles within my relationship I get to determine. Okay, 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 Cherokee babe. Are you in Oklahoma by chance? Um, and we love United. We love United. So yeah, referring to the soul tie or the twin flame, that could be it. But I'm not running around crazy for anyone. Also, in the profession of flying, I could always just fly off somewhere and meet someone else. So I haven't really been tied to that side of I won't ever find anyone else. I don't know anyone else. Nothing else. Please, please. Sometimes things don't work. Sometimes you just aren't in it anymore, and not every relationship will be that classic uh, lifelong love. I guess I don't. I'm. I have not had that yet. So, missing what? Missing what? And also, I'm still figuring out if I actually want that. That may not be something I want at all. Okay? At all. But it also takes the confidence of saying, yeah, that's not for me anymore. I know what's not for me and I listen to it, and then I just continue on, especially in relationship with others, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a work colleague, whether it's a romantic relationship. I can listen to myself and make the best decisions for myself, which will be the best for others. Because my decisions for how I live my life will always benefit others because I'm being authentic and honest to myself. That's right, Auntie Cece, Sissy. that could be it. But trauma bonding is about comfort. So a lot of life is about comfort. I don't know if a lot of people even know what love is. What's up, TikTok Yorkies? But it's all in the process of learning. It may take that devastating relationship to understand I am worthy of more and I will only have more. It may take a relationship that at the time feels great to understand, oh, I was just giving myself, giving too much of myself to ensure someone else will stay with me. I could be because of my voice. That's great. I like that. Thank you. I have a good friend who's a news anchor. I just truly believe in every lesson in life is for us. It's for our learning. And when we're able to observe it and say, wow, look what I learned, and I can walk away, and yeah, this may not feel comfortable, and I've learned from it, and I'm proud of myself, and this is no longer for me. And I had a friend who was like, Hope, I just don't want to call him. I don't know how I can't call him. I have never had that problem. Okay. I've spoken about this. I don't even need to block. If I don't, you just become invisible to me. People, it's very easy for me. Yes, self awareness does feel good. However, if I'm not calling someone, I'm not calling someone. I don't need an app. But that's because I can hold myself accountable. And I know if I think I am no longer contacting this person, I will no longer contact that person. If the person calls me, I just will not respond. It is that easy. Thank you, Keon Keezy Goodwin, for the follow. It is that easy. If you cannot do that, ask yourself why. I just miss him so much. Okay. Are you receiving that same treatment? If you're not, it may be one-sided and it may be something that you have to explore within yourself. But this is coming from the person that will just leave people in the dust. So it's easy for me. And vulnerability, if we're speaking about relationships, vulnerability is a big space of learning, and it's also a space of difficulty to be vulnerable, and not vulnerable in the sense of I'm kissing you or I'm intimate. Vulnerable with speaking about your feelings, vulnerable with holding space for someone else's feelings or for them to express their traumas and for you just to listen, not for you to therapy them or try to help them, just to listen. There is a huge space of just holding that space to listen to someone, especially that you're close to. There's people that I care for deeply and can still be without them. It's both. Hi, handsome. It's all of it. I can think highly of you. I can think well of your perspective of life and how you navigate the world, and not ever communicate with you ever again. Yeah, I'm able to do it with these. And again, it comes from a space of learning oneself. And whenever I speak, it always comes back to understanding yourself without the expectation of what others have to do. They have to show up in this way. They shouldn't have done that. They need to do this. Sure. And they will just show up how they show up. It's not for us to determine how others show up in our lives. People will show up how they want to show up. It is up to us to navigate that. And is it Ohore? Thank you for the follow. And that's a powerful space, and it's a big space of learning, like, oh, that's just me, or that triggered me. that, and I've spoken about this, your triggers aren't for other people to fix. It's for you. So if someone says something and it triggers you, it's not for the other person not to say it. It's for you actually to understand, like, whoa, that triggered me. Okay, why did that trigger me? Do I feel less than? Do I feel a lack of worthiness? Do I feel not seen? Do I feel belittled? Is it something, thank you, Tekken. Is it something from my childhood or past that triggered me? But it's not for you to say, shut the F up. Don't ever say that. I'm going to punch you in the face. That's not for them. That's for you. Because it comes back to you. It comes back to us. You see how that works? It comes back to you. It comes back to us. And, oh, wow. I was, you see the yawning. You see that, Mag? Because I was up late last night on live. I enjoy my lives, and I, I know because I go to sleep early, but my whole process, and this is what I'm speaking about, like we just changed. I have loved early evenings where I go to sleep early, I do what I need to do, and then I'm up early. That hasn't been the case. I've also had a irregular sleep schedule because for about the past month, little over a month, when I came to visit my parents, there was, thank you. How much do you love my voice? When I came to visit my parents, my father was in the hospital. So I was also hearing and responding to phone calls from the doctors at all times of the night. So I also see why my sleep schedule is not regular. And I'm used to it. Thank you. I'm used to it. As the former flight attendant, I think I was just getting into a regular schedule because there's years that I've probably lost in just staying up all night. So what's up? When I retired, that was my first thing. Thank you. I appreciate that compliment. The first step was like, oh, wow, I get to sleep in my own bed. I get to sleep in my own bed, not a hotel bed, not like every day I get to sleep in my own bed. That's new. That's really new for me. As I've shared many times, I don't sleep with my phone in my room because I was tethered to my phone with the airlines. And I always had to have it. No, nothing in life for me is hard. I don't have that thought. And yes, it is. And I still do it. Something being hard or difficult for me does not mean that it's not enjoyable or that I won't do it. You will have to open your thought pattern to doing things that are outside of your comfort zone. Well, there's like a whole hospital and police station. There's everything at the airport, but it depends what airport you're at. Um, Nothing is hard. What would be the other? That's just a that's just whack. The thought of, and here's why. I am not only here to do what I label as easy things, because what I label as easy things would maybe be out of the ordinary for someone else. So when you say, is that hard? I don't know what you're speaking about specifically. If that's a travel schedule, if that's being away, if that, I don't know what that is. And no, because I did it. I would hear people on the flights would say, I don't know how you do this. And it's like, well, it's your profession. And we will always have different perspectives because as the flight attendant, I would have a different way of navigating the airport compared to someone who wasn't in the industry. Meaning, I explained this yesterday, we would have our own designated security and, first on the plane, transport to take us to the hotel is there waiting, our own designated line at the hotel, discounts everywhere we stayed, restaurants, hotels, everywhere, not going through passport control. We would go around. All of these things make it easier. So I don't have that same outlook. And here's another thing. I don't base anything off of the pay and effort. That is only if you are doing manual labor. In fact, I don't do anything for money. And I made a conscious choice to do that. And for the question to say, is it worth it? I don't trade worthiness of payment for my life experience. I also have never been at a profession that I don't like. So when my first job was working at my dad's office, and that's when I understood I never want to work in an office. I never want fluorescent lighting. I never want to sit at a desk. I don't want to go by the water cooler or smell coffee or have office politics because I did that as like a teenager. It was not, if my life is here to be lived and lived abundantly, that's not it. And I'm never surviving. I'm thriving. You see, we're not even thinking the same. You're on something else. I don't survive. I thrive. I don't even know what it's like to survive. I'm thriving. I'm thriving in everything I do. In everything. Even if it is labeled a difficult moment, I'm thriving. I'm thriving. And I don't judge anything off is it worth it? Is it worth it? I speak multiple languages and I've traveled the entire world and I've lived abroad and I have all these experiences and other talents, gifts, and abilities. Yes. There was no trade-off. There was no trade-off because it was exactly what I wanted. And again, my life experience is fulfilled and full. So when I chose to become a speaker professionally, when I chose to be to go into speaking professionally, it was because, well, I've reached my mastery with flying. I've done everything I wanted to do. I've been here 15 years. It's a good time to switch. I've never seen life as this is what I'm going to do until I'm 62 and retire. No, absolutely no. I don't know how you guys function with the thought of worrying about something that hasn't even happened. I see why you stay stuck. That's exactly why you stay stuck. Because you are all worry is a negative story of something that hasn't happened. That's it. Worrying is creating a negative story of something that hasn't happened. So when you create that, you just don't want to move towards it. And I see why you don't move towards it. And there's fear within you. I don't have any of that. I just move forward. There's nothing I'm worried about. I have everything I always need here to solve anything that I come up against in any moment in life. That's it. That's it. And I trust myself. That's it. Thank you for the follow, Toothy. There's never a time, and there's only a few people that I like travel with or I'm out with, because thank you, Sophia B. Thank you for the follow, and Kada, as well as S. Richardson. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, and it is what it is. However, I also say I'm not told what to do. If I wasn't even listening to my parents, why would I listen to the thoughts of others or a manager? Like, I'm smarter than you. I don't need to know. Why would I listen to you? Why would I listen to you? I'm me. I don't listen to you. And it's not respectfully or disrespectfully. It's only about the simple decision that I trust me. So whatever you think of me is okay. It's not even, I don't need to argue with you. That's okay. That's your perspective of how I show up for you in your life. But that has nothing to do with me. Everyone will have that. Everyone will have an opinion about me or someone or anything they see, because that's just a part of maybe human design in this society, meaning Western society. And it means nothing for me. In fact, it means nothing for the other person, but I actually really live that. It's a difference when you actually live it. And when, yeah, it can be difficult. And this is where self-reliance and strength within oneself becomes apparent. That's it. Outside of that, worry doesn't bring any benefit. Worry brings no benefit. Thank you for continuing to like and share the live. If it's very simple for me, is this beneficial for me? Yeah, it's beneficial. Okay, go forward. Is this beneficial for me? No. Okay, well, why not? Because if I argue with this person, I mean, I'm actually getting agitated. I'm upset. It's not like I'm proving a point. I'm not getting paid to do this. It adds nothing to my life. Oh, okay. Then I don't need to address it. It's that simple. And so many things are out of your control. I only put focus onto things that are in my control and that I can control. Outside of that, I don't care. Someone's opinion of me is true for them. It means nothing for me. And most of the time, I'm not even aware of someone's opinion of me. I mean, I'm loved everywhere. What's not to love? I'm fantastic. And and that takes silence and working with yourself. I really focus on me because, as I said, I've never worked at an occupation that I hadn't loved. I did my dad's office, and for a brief time I was an insurance adjuster. Then I went into makeup artistry, and then flying. And then with that, I did like other little things, vintage clothing reseller. But I loved all of these things. So I don't know how it is to just go get a job around the corner just because someone said you got to work. I knew that as a flight attendant, number one, it's what I wanted to do. Like, it was actually a dream. So I know how it is to live a dream. And it didn't matter about the payment because I get to see the world. I can go anywhere in the world free of charge at any moment. There is no trade-off. And I'm beautiful and smart. Get out of here. Get out of the way. I got places to be. Okay? I got to go. I ain't gonna stay here with y'all. Y'all up here with the same dudes from high school. Now people is getting fat. People got multiple kids. People, no. Okay. So there was no, was it worth it? You're looking at the wrong things. And I had encouraged some other uh, flight attendants who started flying, and they said, "Oh, the pay is not great." Girl, you're seeing the work at that age. Let's say anytime 21, 22, 23, really in your 20s, you don't really need that much, in the sense that if it was 20 years in the future, maybe you were in your 40s, late 30s, you may have a home, you may have a mortgage, you may have a car payment, you may have credit cards. You don't have that now. You don't even know what it is to have that. So you can operate with less. The other thing is, if it's just you, it's easy to reimagine yourself. Now it's different if it's you and like a family or your child. But if it's just you, you can fail at many things, and it's never a failure, it's a lesson, but you can always rebuild. It's very easy to rebuild. It is. Even if you had a family, that fear of, I can't do this because if it all falls apart, how will I rebuild? You will. And you will rebuild stronger because of the lessons that you have from that prior story. There, in that regard, there is no failure. There is nothing that is actually weakening your story. And Zazu, thank you for the follow. That's a beauty, because all of this comes down to the confidence within you. All I'm sharing with you is how to like you. And by liking you means I don't need to convince others to like me. I like me. I actually like me. I actually trust myself. I actually, of course, one, I'm always happy to read your messages. I am forgiving myself. I am listening to myself. I give myself what it needs, and it doesn't need you. So I'm okay with walking away from you. Thank you, Diva, for the follow. Also, because I like me, thank you, Toothy. If you don't like me, that has nothing to do with me. But if I need to convince you to like me, I may not fully like me. I had shared that I don't ever remember getting bullied. In fact, I remember being a bully in some grades, just because I was just very direct and like, do this. And I also am one of 5 girls. So all of that social structure probably happened in my household. However, my sisters never bullied me. Again, I'm probably the goon. Yeah, it probably does. 90s R&B. When I worked in my dad's office, he trained us on the phones, like to answer the phones and do cold calls. So he would have us say, "Hello, this is Hope. Welcome to First Heritage Insurance. How may I direct your call?" Oh, no, Mr. Williams is currently not in. I'm his daughter, Hope, and I'm happy to talk to you. Let me take your information and I will give this message to my father and get back to you as soon as possible. That's what I had to do. But he would still stand over us and make us do these cold calls. So he would say, my dad was an entrepreneur as well. So he would always believe in dialing for dollars. Early 90s. You get on that phone and you call clients and you cold call until you get the money. Okay. And dialing for dollars. So I remember that. And it was always that belief of, if you're starting something, it's in you to get it. If you don't have it, you can do more. Maybe it's you need to do less, but it's something that needs to change. And that beauty of saying, I may not physically have it, but I have it. What can I do to get it in this moment? And yeah, so my dad trained us all on the phones and also probably working the flights. I have something with my voice, and living in different countries, my accent changes depending on who I'm talking to. Thank you, Nana Poku, for the follow, and what language I'm speaking, because my voice changes depending on the language I'm speaking or who I'm speaking to. And that's the beauty with communication, because my father would say one of the biggest lies is to treat everyone the same, because you don't. You do not speak to an 8-year-old the way you speak to a 48-year-old. You do not speak to someone who English is their second language as a fluent native English speaker. We treat everyone differently, and that's not a negative thing. That could be helpful. Oh, this person, I can notice this person's accent. Maybe I speak that language that they speak. Maybe I need to slow down when I speak. Maybe I need a different approach. How about I not speak and just listen? Especially in a customer experience, I need to listen to the customer, because if I don't truly listen, I'm there to serve the customer. I'm there to aid the customer. If I'm just going off of a script, I'm not going to make any money in sales because I don't know what they need and I'm just giving them something. True customer service is actually listening to a customer. Like listening, stopping your processing, stopping your response and listening. Because when you listen, you're aware of what the person may need or how you can help. That goes with everything, because my dad would say, everything in life is a conversation. All it takes is a conversation. And I remember there was a Christmas where there was a friend of mine that we kind of separated, but I wasn't aware that there was a separation, and I was sad. And my father said, thank you, Diana White Eagle, for the share. My father said, well, have you called her? I said, no. He said, well, clarity comes from a conversation. And it's true. And how often, number one, do we not have those words? Because we've already created a story. I'm not talking to this person because look what they did. They deserve to come and talk to me. I don't even think, wait, what about, okay, let's say all of that is true and have a conversation. All of that can be true. They can be the worst person. They should be the one to come talk to you. They shouldn't have done that. That's true. Have a conversation. Now, I would first ask the question, do I value this friendship or relationship? If I don't, then okay, I don't need to have the conversation. But if I value it in any way, it's worthy to just clarify with a conversation. And when we are in a space of confidence within ourselves, there is no problem starting a conversation, because it can be as easy as, I don't understand what happened. I missed you. Let's have a conversation. And listen. Say that, shut up, let the person talk, and listen. Because if there's a discomfort of starting a conversation, it may be because you feel a discomfort of how you won't be heard, or how you have never been safe to express. So I don't want to start this conversation because when I was a kid, I was always told to shut up, or I don't know, or sometimes it's that. It's all a part of that. That's why I say it always comes back to us. It's always something within us, and it's always something within us. Conversations are easiest when one person talks and the other person listens. Thank you, Jeff. I'm glowing because I love this. And These topics, if you've been watching my lives as hopefuls, I come on every day and I give some uplifting message. This is what I do. This is my gift. This is my passion. And this is love for me. And so when I speak, it's always to empower. It's usually through a story, and it comes back to a universal word about empowerment through oneself. And when someone earlier asked about the was it worth it for the pay, there are individuals, thank you, Plug TV. Thank you, plug me in. Yeah, we're here to uplift. And there are individuals that do things outside of financial gain because I truly believe money has its importance. It does. Prosperity does. It's an energy, it's a means of exchange. And I'm specific with money. I say money doesn't add or take from my worthiness. I'm not more or less because of money. Money loves me. It comes to me with ease. I'm safe with it. I do not hoard it because it flows freely to me, and it is a tool for exchange. That's it. It doesn't give me some sort of extraness where people should like me. It's none of that. It's an energy for exchange of service, exchange of product. And I have a belief of when you are fully plugged into your thing, your gift, what you were put here for, your alignment with something bigger, financial abundance just flows because you're there, you're doing it. And I don't, it's because I've only done things I've liked, I can't, the moment I didn't really like flying, I put a time limit. Like I can no longer physically do this. And I know I have to leave. There's no way I could stay because it's physically taking away from my health because I know it's not what I want. And to live in my authenticity means I know that this will end. I know this will end. I'm making a guess that it is unbearable to be doing something that you don't like, but you just feel you have to do it. And it takes that confidence in saying, no, I know what's for me, and this isn't for me. Thank you, Taylor. Listen, girl, it's because I've lived through it. When I was on live earlier and someone said my girlfriend cheated on me, and I was like, that's the way it goes. Sometimes it goes that way. Sometimes you get cheated on. Sometimes don't go through the phone, because if you see what's in there, sometimes that's how it is. It's life. I've been that person, not the one, well, I don't go through phones. That's ridiculous. But as that cheater, sometimes that's how it happens. Maybe it's a conversation. Maybe she wanted to have the conversation with you, but you weren't on board for you and oh boy to be on her team. Maybe she said, let me keep it quiet and not tell him because he won't be for it. I don't know, but that's how it goes. I've lived it. This is why I can talk about it. And with clear communication, you never know what people will say yes to. You never know. Oh, that's cute. Auntie mom. Okay, auntie mom. I like that. Especially in relationships, that honesty with a person that you love so dearly, people, how honest are you willing to be? How honest are you willing to be? It sometimes it just goes that way. Sometimes you will get cheated on, and here's the story. And I would encourage, this is why this is fight for yourself, not for love. If you're really young, and this is anytime, I actually encourage people to cheat. And here's why: what you learn on the other side of it. I remember, I, and here's the personal story. I was in my first or second year of flying. I was based in DC, Washington, DC, where I had a boyfriend in Washington, DC. I had a flight. It's the truth, Taylor. You have to do it to understand. And it's not an encouragement to purposely hurt another person's feelings. Not at all. It's actually what you learn from it. And so I was based in DC, had a boyfriend in DC, loved Paris, always would fly to Paris, eventually moved to Paris, all of that. I have all of that. But love Paris. And Paris loves me. Eh? J'adore Paris. And I was in Paris, staying at the Sofitel. The Sofitel? Yeah. And as I was coming out of the elevator, I had flown to Paris, got to the hotel, took a shower, went to sleep, got up, got in the elevator. And as I got out of the elevator to go roam the streets, go to the grocery stores, because I love my grocery stores, get my fresh baguettes, go thrift shopping, go to the pharmacy. As I'm exiting the elevator, this tall, beautiful gentleman was exiting the opposite elevator that was facing the elevator I stepped out of. So I walk out, he walks out, and he's looking back like, wow, who is this? Who is this beautiful young woman? And I'm like, yes, this is how my life should be. I should get up and go to the elevator in the Sofitel in Paris and walk out and see this beautiful specimen of a gentleman. So he keeps looking back and he's like, elle est française. And I said, non, je suis américain. He said, je suis américain. C'est vrai? I said, oui, c'est vrai. Je suis up. And he said, oh, wow, you're American. You see, I mean, this is how I'm just so charming, you know? So then as we're walking, like, are you French? No, I'm American. You're American? Is that right? Yes, my name is Hope. And we're walking, and then we start talking, and he's just gorgeous. And he said, this is my name, and do you want to, how long are you here? I said, I'm here like the next day and a half. Oh, okay, I need to get something. Would you like to go for lunch? I was like, of course, I would love to go to lunch. So as we're speaking, people are coming up to him in the reception, in the lobby, asking for his signature. And so he would give the signature. There was people asking for pictures, and he was quite well-known footballer for Paris Saint-Germain. He actually played in World Cup a few times. And unbeknownst to me, I'm American. We don't know anything about this. And furthermore, I don't really care. Here's the other thing. You're a dude. I know it's your profession, what you do, what you have. It has some effect, but it has a smaller effect than for me. Like your personality and what you are, who you are, your integrity. Like, are you cool? Can you stand next to me? I'm very cool. I possess quite an energy. If you can't stand next to me, you need to go somewhere. But he was very cool. And I went out to the pharmacy, got what I needed to get, because here's the other thing. Stop rushing in and saying, yeah, let's go to lunch now. Like, pretend you have something to do. Yes, I could have went to lunch then. I did that too, Shortcake. I did that too. I told him, I kind of have a record for, this is why I know about this. Because, and I'm no longer a player anymore. However, you know, but I did tell them, and that's another story. Okay, yeah, not being available. Of course, I was really there for the next 30 hours on my layover, and I could have went to lunch then, but no. I'm going to the pharmacy. I need to get my lip balm. I need to get my Nuxe deodorant. I need to get there was like a list of things that I would buy whenever I would be in Paris. So I said, I'll give you a call later. Now, this was also in 2007. So this wasn't like WhatsApp, iMessage, like it was actually, I mean, Wi-Fi and all of this stuff was somewhat new. I don't even know if it was there yet. But I did go out. I came back. We had dinner and he was like, "Oh, my father's coming." I said, "Your father? Whoa. Okay, that's kind of fast." But I'm all for it. I'm the perfect dinner date. Like, why not? And so his father accompanied us to, it was like a late lunch, as well as his people. I think like his one of his sports agents. I'm kind of used to being out with a lot of people, so that was not out of the ordinary for me to be out with someone and their lawyer is there, or their sports agent, or their assistant. That's something that is normal. I've never gone half in my life. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Um, I don't know what that is. So after we finished that, I said, okay, this was great. I'm going to my room. And then again, just a little getaway. Just add some time in between. Pay for, I don't know what I don't I don't know what that is. Really. Here's the other thing. I've never had that happen. I don't Someone who would want that would never be in my space, and they would feel really uncomfortable to even broach that. That when it happened, what's up, Micah? Yo, I've been checking out your sessions with Dame, and I have the funniest story. Okay, I got to break into the story because back when I used to drink a lot, I was with my sister, this music entertainment lawyer, and some other like music industry people. This was in New York, probably in '07 or '06. And we were at the Grand, the Soho Grand, having drinks. And back then I used to drink a lot. That's why I don't drink at all, because I would just drink. And everyone would just, drink nice champagne. It's New York, it's sexy. So I was pretty drunk already. So much so that we had some wine. I kicked over my wine glass and I was like, "Did the server knock over my glass? Did you do that? Was that you?" And it was just ridiculous. However, Micah Da Vinci is fantastic isn't even the word. He's blessed with the ability to channel through music, through his voice, through instruments. He plays 7 instruments. He sings, he writes, he composes, he arranges, he does it all. And I saw that he has been really supported by Dame Dash. And I'm telling you this story at the Soho Grand because I was so drunk that night. I probably had 4 bottles of champagne and who knows, red wine, I don't know, these industry people. Dame Dash comes in and I'm just drunk. And when I'm drunk, I'm hope, but like happier. So I went up to him. He had this fly suede jacket. I love leather. And so as he came in, he walked past our table and I got up and I said, "Hey, give me your jacket." And Dame Dash was just like, and he walked past me. So that is my Dame story, Micah, that I'm reminded of because I remember doing it, and my sister to this day will laugh because she was like, "Remember that time you were drunk at the Soho Grand and you demanded Dame Dash to give you his suede jacket and he just looked at you and like rolled his eyes and walked past?" That happened. Thus why I don't drink. I've done it to a certain level. So check out Micah. He is in the chat currently, and I really believe he's incredible. So back to the guy in France. The soccer player in France was great. And I did have a boyfriend in DC at the time. Here's the other thing. If you have the chance, go ahead and go out on the date. You're in Paris. The boyfriend's in DC. It don't count. He won't find out. Do it. And that was the decision I chose. And I would do it again. You think I'm going to wait around and say no to this beautiful soccer player in Paris, France, because of my little boyfriend in DC? Absolutely not. Not at 22. No way. No. I'm going out. I'm going out just like I did. And because of that, on the other side, I learned all it would really take was that conversation with the boyfriend to say, I don't choose to be in a committed relationship right now. We can be in contact, we can still go out, but the USA is not collapsing. Quel al. You haven't been outside the USA for you to express that. There's certain systems that have to fall, but you have not traveled anywhere if that's your belief. You are the problem, because the belief of everything is collapsing is, well, not true. Collapsing, if your house is collapsing, that's when you should be afraid. Like if your house is actually about to fall on your head. Systems that you have little control over, that's a waste of your energy. Or that's how I see it. It's either that or be in a position of change, but you can't be both. I don't see the world as collapsing. I don't see the US as collapsing. And my personal world, my personal economy, my personal systems will never collapse. That is the importance. Period. So, yeah, soccer player. Actually, I said, you know what? After that first date, oh, thank you, Be Kind 2023. That's great. All 90, 100, all 195. That is true. That is true. No, we won't see it. I'm not watching it with you. Don't put we, when you say we, that's me and you. I ain't over there with you. We ain't in the same world, baby. You gotta understand there's a difference. There's a difference. I'm for the rebuild. I don't see. I know. So I had actually told the lovely gentleman, like, you know what, I got a boyfriend, can't be talking to you, but, and I fulfilled that. Yeah, I create my world. I don't know. Listen, as I've said, most people don't, y'all don't live good lives. I've lived an incredible life just because I've said, F that. I'm not going to do that. I've bet on myself, and it is difficult and it takes guts, but it takes the guts to know that as soon as you say yes, it's already done. And the first thing was me leaving college. Like I knew I wasn't going to, that's not the route for me. I can build my life without this. I have great decision-making skills. I trust myself, and I'm ready to learn the world and explore the world and find how the world can benefit from what I have. In that case, I can build what I will do. But I am not going to choose a profession at this early in life, go through this training and stick with it until I have a breakdown because I realize I don't even like this. I don't like this. I don't like my life. What is my life? Do I even know who I am? Do I trust myself? I'm around these people I don't like. I've never really given myself the ability to do what I want. I want. That's not my story. This is why I don't live in that world. And it may be difficult. It may be difficult because sometimes there's a transition period. But because of the work you put in before, you'll be okay. Everything. Everything. Just the ability to trust oneself is the achievement that's noteworthy. Rustberg 66. And I understand that too. When I did my TED Talk, which I'm grateful for my TED Talk, and it was an accomplishment, but just like other things or labels or systems that people may build to bring some sort of feeling of worthiness, once it's achieved, it's done. Like it's not. Um, I like the working towards the achievement. The achievement itself, like having it, is like, okay, I've done it. It doesn't. I don't feel different because it was just that short moment. But what it took for me to get to that moment is the win. I had shared, and I had basically lost my voice the day of my TED Talk, and that it wasn't frightening. It was like, whoa, I really have to focus. Thank you, Moon Sugar Sparklebutt, for the follow, because this is this achievement, and look at that, Hope. In your story, you lost your voice. Are you going to say, I can't do it because I have no voice? Or are you going to make it happen? Good night, Veronica. That's the only difference. You are your savior. You are your hero. You are your motivator. You are your God. You are your lifesaver. There's nothing outside of you that gives you the power that you already have and that you've always had. And maybe you forgot that you had it, but when you were a kid and you were 3, you didn't say, oh, I'm not going to use that red crayon because people don't like red crayons and I don't. You scribbled with the red crayon. There became a point where fear became safe, but you have more power than you know. You possess a whole world within you. Thank you, Moon Sugar Sparklebutt. Yeah, here's the other thing, because I jump around from subject to subject. I just found out over the holidays, my niece and my sister are placing bets on my hair. Because I was like, oh, yeah, I think I'm going to do this to my hair. And my niece looked at my sister and she said, see? And I said, see what? She said, oh, we had placed bets on your hair. Some of us have bet that you're going to cut it off. Some of us have bet that you're going to color it. Like they have whole systems around my hair. So thank you. And my hair is like always changing. Nothing. Nothing's the difference between me. Well, okay, so yeah, it's really nothing. The difference between manifestation and prayer, nothing. You are speaking words with a concentrated effort of bringing something into your reality that isn't in your current reality. It's the same thing. I've had it like pink. I did that for when I was like maybe channeling my grandmother who loved pink. And that was earlier. That might have been in May. No, I love my golden glow. I love a golden hair color. I love roots. I love golden, beautiful sable. I have done cool white, like almost like gray but white. I like that. I like it too. I like that. Thank you. And I do my colors myself because you learn from everything in life, or at least I do. When I was a flight attendant based back in JFK, oh, actually, anytime, but specifically international flights, I made it a goal. If there was newspapers on the flight, I would read Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, New York Times every day. I also like reading, and I would prefer to read that than like a magazine, because I would follow stocks and the financial sector, both in London and New York and the world and oil, all of that stuff now. And I also had a flatmate in London who is an amazing hairstylist. And so she used me as a hair model, and she was amazing. And she would cut my hair, do my hair once a week, deep conditions, use me. We would travel throughout Europe for the different hair shows. She was a representative for Caracare of the UK. And so my hair has always been fire. I've always had an amazing stylist. That's one thing. We always had our hair professionally done at home while I lived at home. So it's a part of my community to have a hairstylist. And everywhere I've lived, I have that doting character of my hairstylist. So my hairstylist in California, I started getting my hair done, maybe I was like 12. So maybe 12 to, yeah, 22, I went to her. Then when I moved to, thank you, Martin, to DC, this was in 2006. So maybe through MySpace or Facebook, you could ask, but it's usually through someone. And you can see, I naturally have really, really thick, curly hair. Like I have like 1,000 hair follicles that come out of every one follicle. I have a lot of hair, very long, thick hair. And I was asking some of the girls that I had met about hairstylists, and I found this hairstylist, and she was amazing. And there's something comforting, especially with hair, because it is spiritual. They're touching your crown, and you're usually expressing joy or grief or gossip or laughing, or just even that comfort of the therapy of just being in your stylist chair. Like, oh, girl, I'm so happy to see you. That was comforting for me, because although, yes, I traveled as a flight attendant, everywhere I lived, I had one stylist. And that was it. I always found one, and that was it. And she was kind of old school, because she still used like Marcel irons. I would go and get it pressed out. I didn't have a relaxer. And my hair would be fly. And she knew a little color, but not too much. And she was excellent. She was kind, she was clean, she was on time, she was efficient. I ain't never had them backwards hairstylist people. Y'all aren't paying enough. Because if you're paying money, you don't get that riffraff. I don't know who y'all are going to. I see these creators on TikTok. I have had one interaction, and it's because I was trying to be cheap. And I've always said there's a saying that says to be cheap is expensive. Don't go to no cheap people, especially with beauty, within the US. Because outside of the US, beauty does not cost as much. But my stylist there was great. Then I moved to London, and I lived with my stylist, who was amazing and multilingual. And because I was living with a cosmetologist and professional hairstylist, I got to learn. I'm always learning. So She would do people at the house as well as in the shop. She would travel and I would go with her to the shows. I would go with her to workshops. She would teach me theory, color theory. This is how I know how to dye my hair because I know how to lift it, how to bleach it, how to tone it, how to color correct. I learned this while living with her. She taught me how to do a basic cut, so I know how to do cuts. I know how to do layers. I know how to do relaxers. I know how to do a blowout. I do a fantastic blowout. She taught me all the brush work. And I share this to share that there's something you can learn in everything you do, because I'm often on the go and I'm my own glam. I can actually professionally do my hair because I allowed myself to learn that skill while with that person. And because I had the makeup background, I'm always ready to go. Let me go. I can go to the beauty supply place, get what I need. I'll do it myself. In fact, when I went to the Cannes Film Festival, I did all of my stuff myself, and it looked fantastic because, well, number one, I trust myself. It comes down to I just trust that I could do it. There's nothing more exceptional about my skill. It's really in the belief that, yeah, I know I can do it. So I'll do it. I don't care if it's a film festival. I trust that I can do it, so I can do it. That's just it. And yeah, so I had that hairstylist who I really loved. There was a time where I would go and get my Dominican blowouts in New York, and I do love a great hairstylist and like a nice deep treatment and a beautiful setting. There's something so safe and serene. When I shaved off my hair, I learned that other side of going to the barber shop, because as a beautiful woman, when I lived in DC, I would have to walk past this barber shop, and it's not that I didn't want to, because you expect it as a woman. I'm aware, and you're aware after a certain age that men respond to you differently. If you're 10, it's completely different than when you're 16, and you feel that change. And that change can be uncomfortable. However, walking past a barbershop, you know that you will hear something. And when I shaved off my hair, that experience of going into the barbershop, there was the comfort of my stylist when I was going to get my hair colored, and barbershop culture. And even there was a bit discomfort because now I'm the woman in there. I don't know if people aren't going to talk or whatever. I don't know, but it was cool. I enjoyed both, and I enjoyed, like, I didn't know what to say when I would go and get my hair cut. I know like a fade, but I don't know a Caesar. I don't know what this stuff is. I didn't even know you had to get your hair cut so much, because I was getting my hair cut like twice a week or once a week with like an edge up 3 days later. And then 3 days later, I would go for a cut. I had no idea that you have to get your hair cut like as a man, like every week or every few days. And there's still that safety in that beauty position with that barber or with that hairstylist. And with nails, see, I'm a one-stop beauty shop. This is why I say it has to be you. I don't have time to complain and say, I don't have a hair person, I don't have a nail person. I can do it. I can do it. And Coco Bean 1414, thank you for the follow. And I love your hair, because my hair has been that. I've had my hair so many different things, and I am growing it out. I am. You have to hold me accountable. I am. Because I'm always thinking, I have my clippers here at my parents' house. I'm like, well, it's a new year. Maybe I should just clip it all off. But I want my hair back. Like I like the stages of it growing back. Thank you for the follow, Mimi23. And there is, Amber Rose said something about this. When you have a fresh buzz cut, it's just like the freshest, cleanest, most beautiful feeling. And being in Hawaii, I love to swim. I love to swim anyway, but being in Hawaii, and I would buzz my hair off and I would go swimming in the ocean, and I would pop out of the ocean and I would just feel the beauty of that ocean water full of nutrients and magnesium just cascading off of my scalp, and the sun just radiating on my scalp. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And also, that's not very common. How common can you just like really feel your scalp or dive into the water and have that? It's just amazing. And I do, yeah. There's also, here's another thing. 20 years ago, if you had long, beautiful hair, it was hard to fake it. Like, I have long, beautiful hair. It's easy to fake long, beautiful hair now. You can get a great wig. There's great extensions, like realistic looking. 20 years ago, it wasn't as easy to get realistic looking hair extensions. Now, you could easily have beautiful hair of any texture, but you can't just fake a bald head. That's kind of why I did it, because yeah, you can fake long, beautiful, thick hair, curly hair, blunt, whatever. You can't fake a buzz cut. And it takes balls and it takes guts, and it feels so good. It is the best feeling. I see why when people cut their hair, they just like don't want long hair again, because it is fun and it's novel and all of that, but and I'm going to grow it out. So just keep reminding me. I'm not going to cut it again. I'm not. And again, it comes down to knowing you. And it comes down to me seeing my next version of myself. Like I'm present and dreaming, what would that look like? What would that feel? Thank you, Coco Bean. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, there's nothing wrong with anything. I would never, yeah, I know that. I've defined that. There's nothing ever wrong. And I'll do, if I want to cut it, I will. I also had the notion of I get to define what's beautiful. Because I have such big, thick, long hair, I would be told, don't cut your hair, don't touch your hair. Oh, your hair is so beautiful. No, I get to define my beauty. It's not defined by you because of how you feel about my hair. I define my beauty, and my beauty isn't defined on visual. And it's not defined on anything that we could label beauty. However, it's beautiful to have a buzz cut. It is. I love it. So, full circle, like a buzz cut, like a Caesar. I had entitled this live, Fight for You, Not for Love, because you are amazing. You really are. And I believe that it is our entire life's goal to get back to us. That's what the difficulties and the lessons and the growth and the change and the inspiration, it's leading us back to us, our most powerful self, our most resilient, our most beautiful, our most authentic, our most. And when we get quiet and listen to ourselves, or forgive ourselves, or love ourselves, like ourselves, and forgiving yourself is a big thing. Thank you, Jonathan, for the heart me. Ask yourself, do I know how to forgive? Do I know how to forgive myself? No one else. Because often how you are for yourself is how you show up for others. So if you can't forgive yourself, you probably won't be able to forgive others. if you are speaking with unkind words to yourself, it may be easy to share those words with others. And there's a beautiful space in just asking, do I like myself? Can I forgive myself? How do I feel right now? And listen. And it doesn't have to be one practice. This can be through prayer. This could be through meditation. This could be through journaling. This could be through chanting. This could be through stretching or walking. This can just be a practice for you that allows those answers to be heard for you. There's no wrong way, there's no right way. It's just getting to a point where I can quiet myself and hear. And then we get to the power that we are. And that's what I speak about, because I've done a lot. I like to say I've lived a quite colorful life. And through my travels, 60 countries, I lived abroad, flight attendant 15 years. What I've learned is the beauty of the human experience is we doubt ourselves. And sometimes it just takes a smile or a laugh or something familiar for us to remember that we are okay. You are okay. You are doing good. You're doing really good. And that's what I speak about, because I've done it all and I'm still here. I've been ran over. I've been deported from countries. I've left men in countries. I've broken up with people. I've cheated on people. I've done it all. And I'm here to say it's all worth the lesson of learning what it meant. Or if it doesn't mean anything, or okay, I did that. Now I know in the future, this is a better option. And not being in the space of I did wrong. Well, maybe I had to go through that to understand to operate differently. You know? Yeah, well, sure, but don't. There's no comparison is always going to lead you to discomfort, because there's no similarities with you and anyone in the world. And it's only going to be under your lens. So, yeah, I'm not comparing. We're on different timelines. We have different information. I don't even know what they want. I'm comparing off of what I want. They probably don't even know about that. So it's also stepping back. Your experience and journey is you. Others' opinions or comparison, just ask yourself, why do I compare? Well, maybe I don't think I'm as good as them. Start there. Just start asking more questions. Instead of blaming oneself, ask more questions. And I'll be here to talk. That's why I'm Hope is Speaking. I come on every day. I come on when I'm inspired. I've been coming on later. However, I upload all of my lives onto my YouTube page, which is Hope is Speaking. Go subscribe to my YouTube page. And I also upload other content daily. I'm finishing this content about 5 things I've learned in grieving my father's death, because grief is it's just another experience. I won't label it good or bad. I'm really in a space of I don't label things. They are. And I'm aware of myself and I know what I need. So I don't fear and I don't expect. Meaning I don't fear grief. I'm not afraid of it because it just shows up how it shows up. Good evening, Walter. I don't worry about it because I have all the tools I need for everything in life. I have tools to release. I could journal. I could talk to someone. I could cry. I could run. I have tools. So, and all of this is something that is adding to me in some way. And so, yeah, I love to speak. And I did give a TED Talk. That's also, if you go to the top of my page and click the link in bio, my TED Talk is the first button. Or just go to YouTube and Google TED Talk Hope Emergency Landing. And that is the basis of how I speak. Could be a motivational speaker. I could be an inspirational speaker. I just say I'm a speaker. I speak. When I speak, I do it well, and it's here to encourage and just like let us know we're doing okay. And I'll make you laugh because that's what I do. And I'm just encouraged. So I love to talk. I do come on every day. And I'm just happy. So I have my hopefuls because my hopefuls are usually the first that come in the live, and we're just like all positive and amazing. And I'm really grateful, especially in this season that I'm in. It is helpful to see that just this ability to speak, how the tribe has come. Because I like to say, you find your tribe. And wherever I've moved, people would say, do you know anyone there? Do you know anyone in DC? No. Do you know anyone in London? No. Do you know anyone in Paris? No. Why do I need to know? I love that I don't know anyone. And you find your tribe. There's nowhere that I've gone where I haven't found those who are for me. I don't fear that. And with speaking on live, I have found the Hopefuls tribe, and it's cool. It's such a cool, eclectic community, and it's just positive, and it's comforting. So thank you. I'm really grateful. I close all my lives with, be the reflection of love, because we all come from an infinite source of love. Show up. I showed up. All you got to do is show up. But if you don't show up, it can't happen. So you got to show up. All you got to do is show up and make it look good when you show up. Don't come in here with like the pajamas with the stains and oversized sweats that the elastic is all busted and there's holes and it's frayed. We don't do that. Also, don't go to the airport like that. I don't. I am disgusted. I've said this before. I'm disgusted with the state of Americans in the airports, with the pajamas and the sweats. You're at the world's intersection. That's why I tell people, if you want to meet people, especially dating-wise, if you want to network, meet friends, the airport is where the whole world collides. It's the one place on earth that the entire world collides. Look beautiful. Okay? So that is the third statement. Look beautiful. Whether you're at the airport or just getting up in the morning, you get to see you. Look beautiful for you. Be beautiful. Life is beautiful. See the beauty in life. Be open to new beauty of life. And know that the beauty is in how you live your life. So thank you for being here with me. Subscribe to YouTube, follow me here, like me, don't like me, do whatever you want. I also believe this. Do whatever you want because it doesn't matter. Bye.